It's okay to fall apart, even after you thought you had everything under control. You're not weak. This is healing. You'll go days without thinking about your past, and then there will be days where we'll all come crashing down. Hold space for all of it. Maybe you won't go back to being who you were before everything happened, but I can assure you, you will find your way forward. Hold on until then, one day at a time.
The more you're able to let go, the farther you're going to proceed. It is essential. The more your willingness and your ability to let go, the more changes are going to come. It's just like this. For new things to come, old things must go.
Remember, it's not what you have, but what you do with what you have that separates winners from losers. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens to you that counts. In the final analysis, your response to the adversity of life is the real measure of who you are and what you're made of. The Greek philosopher Epictetus once said that circumstances do not make the man or woman, they merely reveal him to himself. Everyone eventually goes through periods of great difficulty, their own private hells, their dark nights of the soul. But it is by facing whatever life gives us with courage and determination that we grow more surely toward the stars.
When you're looking for validation on the outside, it's because you lack strong values on the inside. To me, success is very simple. Those closest to me love and respect me the most. That's my definition of success. Let me explain that to you because it's so beautiful. This is success on the inside. This is how I built my success foundation. There's something wrong with any of us if people who don't know us well like us better than those who know us well. Once the inside is right, the outside can expand.
Success is measured very differently, right? You have to understand and figure out what success means to you. But if you are not happy with where you are or where you are going, you may be settling. You may be good, maybe you're average, maybe you think you're great, but if you move into a different environment, go into a different sphere, you're gonna recognize you're not. You're just good. And in this day and age, sorry, good is not enough.
You will not find yourself anywhere apart from within. You must isolate your mind, be alone with your thoughts, breathe, relax, reflect, ask questions, find answers, use your imagination to visualize what you feel. And it is also important to be in the right environment. Make this a habit and you will find yourself. And once you find yourself, you will experience true freedom.
There are only 4 fundamental choices to make a change. You either could stop something, you could start something, you could do less of something, or you could do more of something. That's literally the only things you could do. Because if you did the 5th thing is not do anything, that's insanity, right? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So you want to create a new result. I'm not saying this is easy, but I'm saying it is pretty straightforward and simple.
I believe that when we die, we meet the person we could have been, the one we were capable of, the life we were capable of having. I want you to imagine for a minute that when you die, you meet who you could have been. I'm chasing that guy, the emotions, the memories, the contribution. And I want me to go, man, I was watching you, bro. What a run. Man, I thought you blew it on that one chapter. And then you came back. And then you got knocked down again. Then you came back, you got knocked down again. You did it. You maxed out your life. To me, that's heaven. Becoming the person I'm capable of. Now, hell looks like this. Yeah, I was chasing you, and then this person hurt me, and I had that thing, and then the market. Yeah, I was watching, and you had it, and then the thing, and it's over. The truth is, I lived my life scared. I underestimated myself, and I ran out of time. Yeah, you don't get to do it again. You live with this forever. I'm really sorry I don't recognize you.
Death isn't just of the physical body. Death is of the ego, ego death. You want to die to yourself. It's not a physical death. It is a character or an ego death. You must die. Your ego must die. Who you are today is no longer resourceful for who you're going to be, who you are to be next. For you to fulfill your greatest purpose here on this planet, in this lifetime, you have to have multiple deaths to immature versions of yourself so that you could be reborn as a stronger version of yourself. That's how the process goes.
It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does always actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
First step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. Very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Period.
I mean, there are no manuals, no shortcuts, no secrets. You write your own manual, you develop your own shortcuts, you find your own secrets. You go where you're drawn to go, and you learn by doing the work. I mean, if you're scared, if it all seems like too daunting, if the machinery of it all seems too big and scary and overwhelming, it's great. You wake up in the morning and you do it anyway.
Don't get better automatically. You only get better because you intentionally make a decision to get better. You have to go from being a person of good intentions to a person of good actions. That's the great separator.
Most important key to achieving great success is to decide upon your goal and then launch. Get started, take action, do something, move. The act of taking the first step is what separates the losers from the winners, or the winners from the losers.
There are times in life when you're going through a hard time and you think you're going through a test. That's not the test. The test is, how do you go through the hard time? And if it's a test that you are designed to fail, how do you handle that failure?
Your story is going to be the greatest story that's ever been told. I'm so glad that you got overweight. I'm so glad that your mindset's all over the place. I'm so glad you haven't been treating the people that you love the greatest. I'm so glad you haven't been working your ass off. I'm glad you haven't changed people's lives or make enough impact yet. I'm glad you got comfortable and complacent, because when you change, this story is going to be that great.
The understanding that winners write history, which means that no matter how difficult whatever the season that you're going through is, just win. Like, keep going until you win. And then once you win, you can rewrite whatever history you want. And that has gotten me through those harder periods, because I just knew that I needed to get through to the other side.
You really want something, you're gonna find a way, ultimately. And it might not be today or next year or 5 years or 10 years, but this thing takes priority and precedent over all other things. When you don't want something as much as you think you do, of course, bro, just like you said, don't nobody wanna live a hard life. We all wanna make life easy for ourselves, for our families, for our mothers, boom, boom, that's amazing. And the thought of that is amazing. Sometimes your desire might not be enough fuel. You gotta have a strong desire, and when you have a strong desire, that outweighs all other shit.
You are going to die one day, and every single person whose opinion you're afraid of is also going to die one day. And in 300 years, it's probably not going to matter to people whether you did the thing you said you were going to do, or you let people's opinion beat you into submission. And I got news for you. Whether you do it or not, people are going to say it. They're either going to make fun of you for trying, or they're going to say that you had so much potential and you just didn't try in life, or whatever. No matter which direction you go in, it's going to come with some bullshit. You can put up with people's opinions and people's comments and actually do the thing you want to do, or you can put up with people's opinions and people's comments and die with regret. What you choose to do with your life, as long as it doesn't harm anyone else, isn't that important to people. Most people are just focused on their own shit, doing their own thing, worried about their own life. So f*** it.
There is no guarantees. Even if you work hard, there's no guarantee it's gonna work out. I do believe hard work pays off, but no one tells you when. And that's the test. Can you maintain your patience when you don't know when the end is coming? You don't know when it's going to pay off. You just believe in yourself, regardless of who believes in you.
Take ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Get control of your ego. Take ownership of everything in your world, the good and the bad. Take ownership of your mistakes, take ownership of your shortfalls, take ownership of your problems, and then take ownership of the solutions that will get those problems solved.
If it seems impossible, it's even better. You do it anyway. And as you go, like I said, remember that amidst all that machinery, you're the one who's going to make the picture. You and the spark. In the end, they're one and the same. You guard that, because it's precious. Now it's time to get to work.
Maybe this chapter of your life is meant for you to do it alone. Maybe this is the time for you to practice independency, to do the things you've always known, but kept putting off for some reason. Maybe this phase is for you to be a little bored and lonely, because it might be what you need as you're putting the pieces back together. It might not be fun, but it's necessary, because in order to evolve into the next version of yourself, you need to find out who you truly are.
Everything you do, every choice you make, move you in the direction of what you say your vision is. And when you do that, the forces of life rise up to meet you. The reason why most people have such chaotic lives is because they're living in chaos in their head. And as soon as you get clear, it clears up.
You may be in your darkest hour. Know that night don't last forever. There's a morning coming in your life. Stay down till you come up.
It's a lot easier to sit around and make a list of what you're going to do in the future. What's easier? It's easier to take out a pen and a piece of paper and write things down. And so people will substitute that action for the action that will actually change them and make them better and move them closer to that version of who they know they can become. So let's just be careful. Just be careful. Be careful of getting caught in that planning phase of who you can become. Be careful of that planning phase, because the planning phase should be about 3 seconds long. And then it's time to go get after it.
Make your move before you're ready. I'll tell you where big dreams go to die. They go to the planning place, preparing myself. And it's the biggest con job we work on ourselves. There are so many bones of big dreams in that graveyard where people, there's always going to be a set of reasons to wait.
When you want to achieve the highest goal of all time, you are going to have to learn how to get your ass kicked all the way up that damn mountain. If I want to be way up here, it's going to take a bunch of small micro failures along the way. But you have to understand that that is part of the process.
The reality is when you do things that are easy in life, you don't value them as much. When you do things that are difficult and that require you to dig really deep, then you value them more. It's easy to quit. It's easier to try something that's already been done before. It's harder when you don't know what the end result will be. It's harder when you face the uphill challenge and you deal with it and you face it head on. It's where you build confidence in yourself. That's where you build your own self-esteem. You know, if things are given to you, you never have a sense of how difficult it is to actually earn it.
Regret hurts more than discipline. Because when you're disciplined and you act on the things that you're supposed to do, you won't ever have to look back and say, dang, woulda, coulda, shoulda. So do it now so you don't have to do it later.
The most powerful voice you'll ever hear is the one inside your own head, because that voice is often fueled by fear and insecurity. Your mind can remind you of the past. It can criticize you and make you question your self-worth, but you can change that. Don't be afraid to question the stories you create in your head. Focus on what you want, and you'll start to see opportunities where obstacles once were.
You get up in the morning, what are you gonna do today? I'm gonna win today. Well, just by saying that you're gonna win today, you ain't gonna win today. It's a jungle out there. See, most of us, we come out to compete every single day. The jungle comes to win, because the jungle is always prepared.
You know, the things that you think about all the time, that you don't tell anybody, right? You can do that thing. You actually can achieve it. And you should believe in yourself. You should believe in those things because they're there for a reason. They're not in your mind, they're not in your heart just to be there.
Whenever you feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
Your biggest enemy is you. People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you. Nobody else.
Being stuck is a signal that you've stopped growing. And when most people feel stuck, they don't understand that it's tied to a fundamental need for growth. We believe it's an existential crisis and we blow up our lives. For most human beings, what actually will get you feeling like you're not stuck is having something in the future that you're looking forward to. Learning anything gets you back in touch with a fundamental need. It makes you start to feel like things are moving, and from that place of feeling a little bit more empowered, you'll be able to make better decisions about what big things need to change in your life.
Your current situation is not your final destination. There's more to your life, and I know right now it's hard for you to believe that, but I need you to believe it. Like everything you're currently facing is building you for something greater. You're more than your struggles, you're more than your pain. I know you feel like nobody understands you, nobody gets you. I know you feel alone and isolated. So I want to tell you, I'm proud of you for not giving up when it's so easy to.
I know what darkness looks like. I know what it feels like to be alone with no motivation, no drive, no passion. And what has to come out of your soul in the darkest of times. But if you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that.
The darkest place someone can be is standing still. The darkest place someone can be is when they are alive, but they are not living. The darkest place someone can be is when they are no longer making progress.
Everyone talks about the destination, but very few people talk about the journey. That's where the iron is forged. In the monotony of doing the right thing day in and day out, your part of the deal is to keep showing up for yourself, to stick around and see what happens when you really go all in. Don't just settle for mediocrity. Just hold up your end of the bargain and watch how life will turn in your favor.
What is something that all the successful people who have ever lived or who will ever live have in common? It is the first step. They have all, and all will have, an unwavering commitment to take the critical first step. All dreams, ambitions, and goals have this in common. You have to start. You have to take the first step.
Instead of making huge plans with huge steps, better think about how to structure your 24 hours and put a little bit of what you want to develop there inside that day.
No matter what you are going through in life, how sad you are, how much pain you're feeling, the trauma that you're going through, you are strong enough to see another day. And it's not about being 100% every single day. It's about just showing up. That's what I do. No matter what the odds, no matter how I'm feeling, I show up every single day.
I had made the decision that I would either die or I would succeed. For anyone who's going through it right now, the refrain, the repeated message that I had to myself over and over again was, I cannot lose if I do not quit. And so if I could just have that, then it meant, like, it was like this tiny little thing. It's like, if I don't quit, I didn't lose. It just means I still get to play.
We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. That in fact, it may be necessary to encounter defeats so we can know who the hell we are. What can we overcome? What makes us stumble and fall and somehow miraculously rise and go on?
You are the hero in this story. You are the hero in your story. And now you can take all of that negativity, all of that pain, and you can use it to hurt people. You can use it to dish out the same negativity, the same hurt that you received. Or you can take that pain, take all of that hurt, and use it as the reason to never see it in the world again.
Listen to people that are going to tell you that you can't do it. Don't listen to haters, don't listen to naysayers, don't listen to people that give you advice that tell you to slow down or you shouldn't do it or you can't do it or the time's not right or any of those other things. Those are dream stealers. They were sent to you to see if you'll overcome them. They were sent to you to test your resiliency. And if you can overcome that, if you just discard all of that stuff and you get clear on those other things, you've got a really good chance of doing something great with your life. And just remember what you were put here to do. You're not a mistake. You're not here by an accident. You were born to do something great with your life.
The easy route never pays well. The only route in life that pays well is the hard route, the struggle, the pain, the frustration, and the overcoming of those things. And not only do they pay, they fulfill you as well, because it shows the people around you what is possible, and there's nobility in that. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
One trait that predicts success. Now, one more attempt at a set or a rep in the gym. That one more plate that you're going to put on when you're working out. That one more mile that you're going to run. That one more time when you fell on your ass and you're going to get back up. That one more time that you're going to make an attempt at your life's ambitions. That is the separator between average people and savage people.
In every family, there's the one. And that one changes that family forever. In my family, I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one who lost sleep at night. I'm the one who got up early. I'm the one who carried the emotional burden of winning. Just like you are. You're the one.
What's impossible in your life? Go after that. Have that. Goals are important. Passion is important. Waking up in the morning and having excitement about the day is important. You're here not by choice. You're led to this. And I believe we all have a destiny. We're all supposed to do something in our lives.
My favorite quote of all time by T.S. Eliot: those willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Notice that it says those willing to risk. You have to risk failing. You have to risk getting mocked. You have to risk your safety and security if you want to find out how far you can go. If you want to find out how many lives you can touch. If you want to find out what it tastes like at the top, you have to be willing to risk going too far.
And that's what's painful, is that it takes more effort to start in the beginning, and more people are right about the fact, they're like, hey, you're not going to hit it big. And guess what? A month in, you're not. But they're only measuring on months. And at 6 months, you're also not going to hit it big yet. And they're going to be like, I'm still fucking right. And at a year, you're still not going to hit it big. And they'll still be fucking right. And every day that you haven't hit it, they're going to feel like they were right. But they're wrong, because they're measuring in days and you're measuring in decades.
To get anywhere in life, you have to work extremely hard and you have to be disciplined. If you wanted to be a great piano player, there's no drug you can take, there's no self-help book, there's no guru. You got to spend 5 years, 10 years learning it until it becomes something that's second nature. There are no shortcuts. You see after a few years that an incredible pleasure happens where now you have mastery of this piano and you can play things you could never play before. Suddenly the whole thing opens up, this whole new universe. And that's the paradigm for everything meaningful in life. If you learn something well, if you learn a craft and you master it, it can bring you a far greater pleasure than any kind of drug or any kind of going out to a party or socializing. But you have to be patient and you have to not be afraid of boredom. You have to not be afraid of the effort.
You know, there's something powerful that once you just sort of embrace the fact that in order to achieve something big, you've got to get rid of these distractions. You're probably going to have some suffering to get there, or some sacrifice to get there. Suffering and sacrifice and hard work is an indication of progress towards our dreams. The lack of sacrifice, the lack of suffering in our lives, its removal, its non-existence also equates to a non-existence of a great life. A non-existence of a dream happening. When we're suffering and sacrificing, we wonder whether it's worth it. We wonder whether we're supposed to. We wonder whether sacrifice or setbacks or suffering is a sign it's not our real dream. See, at the gym, you never think, oh, I'm going through some pain and discomfort. This must be a sign I shouldn't be at the gym. You'd never think that. In fact, the indication of the pain and sacrifice and sweat, don't you feel better at the gym? You're like, wow, I really sacrificed today. I really suffered. So in that area, we all know to the extent we suffer and sacrifice is to the extent we grow.
Don't get better automatically. You only get better because you intentionally make a decision to get better. You have to go from being a person of good intentions to a person of good actions.
Life doesn't happen to you. We all think that life happens to me, right? In fact, the only difference between most of you and me, the only difference between me and you is I wanted it more. I wanted it more. Opportunities will come to you every day. It's either for you, you can remain scared of the opportunities, or you can embrace them and take them.
You need to push yourself past good. Good is not enough. What are you going to do that's going to be different, you understand? What is different within you? There is something deeply different about you. Because a lot of the times, our biggest obstacle is ourselves. You are in your own way. And it just takes a perspective shift to implement into our day. And the next thing you know, we're transforming.
I wish more people were more gentle with themselves and more forgiving. You don't have a lot of people in life that are gonna come and fight for you. It bothers me to my core when I see people be negative on themselves, be hard on themselves, not be a fan of themselves. If you're not a fan of yourself, nobody's gonna be a fan of you. If you don't fight for yourself, nobody's gonna fight for you. It really bothers me, the victim mentality that people have. And if you can escape that victim mentality, you can tap into the opposite side, which is hope.
When you start stacking those wins, with each win comes a higher price. You have to pay a little bit more. Some days you pay a little less, Some days you pay a little, some days you pay a little bit more. When winning is looking at you and it's saying, this is what I need you to focus in on, can you go all in on that, or are you busy still kind of looking out of the corner of your eye? You can't do anything to the fullest extent, to its best capabilities, if you're already thinking about something else or you're thinking about next.
If you wanted it bad enough, you'd make it happen. Just shows your true desires. Otherwise, something more important will always come up. Truth is, if it's on your mind, you're probably as ready as you'll ever be. If you don't make time for your dreams, you'll be forced to make time for your regrets.
Well, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear.
Don't stop, don't dwell on the past, because a lot of times when we dwell on mistakes, when we dwell on certain decisions we've made that already happened, it keeps us there, it keeps us stuck there. Now we're taken away from this moment that we have right now, this moment that we have to bring intention to this moment, to bring gratitude to this moment, to focus on taking the next right step instead of looking backwards and staying stuck in a place that we don't have anymore.
Fast forward 20 years. Are you going to look back at your time and think, I probably should have done anything? If you know that in a year, you think you're going to say, okay, I probably should have been doing this, or man, I probably shouldn't have been doing this so much. That is not a good feeling to have.
I bet you and I have a lot in common. We're not the strongest, smartest, or richest people we know. We're not the fastest or most connected. We're not the best looking or most talented. We don't have the best genetics. But what we do have is something a lot of those other people will never have: the will to work. If there's one unavoidable truth in this world, it's that there is no substitute for putting in the work. There is no shortcut or growth hack or magic pill that can get you around the hard work of doing your job well, of winning something you care about, or of making your dreams come true. Work works. That is the bottom line. No matter what you do, no matter who you are, my entire life has been shaped by that single idea.
It's all in your mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. If you continue to believe as you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. You will continue to get what you have always gotten. If you want different results in your life or your work, all you have to do is change your mind.
Self-doubt is one of the many ways we can become enemies of our own progress, saboteurs of our destinies. This can come up as a result of us amplifying our incapabilities. We seem to project failure into our future based off a temporary hurdle, either one that we have overcome or one that's currently in our path. But your analysis of yourself cannot be built on a foundation of deceit. Now, while it is okay and absolutely necessary to locate your flaws and weaknesses, it is not okay to marinate in them. It is not okay to let them overtake your identity. You are not inadequate. You are not insignificant. And you are not someone who is incapable of the very change or greatness you so desperately seek.
Bruce Lee quote, he said, "In great attempts, even failure is glorious." Failure shows you who you are. So the reality is you love failure. You just don't love it when it's yours. But when it's Kobe, oh yeah. You know, when it's LeBron, oh yeah. He didn't win these championships, look at him now, yeah. You a fan of LeBron, you're really a fan of yourself. You just haven't finished your story.
You know, that's one of the biggest things that just continues to keep people in shackles, is the story they just keep telling themselves each and every day about why they aren't good enough, about why they can't do something, about how it won't work. You know? So really challenge yourself to change the story, change the narrative, the ability to write out our own story, the ability to manifest and to create the things that we want to create in this life.
Do you wonder why you feel like you're not capable? Because you're telling yourself that you're not capable. Stop telling yourself you're not capable. You are capable. Tell yourself, I am capable. I have everything I need to try to do what I want to do. You have everything you need to be capable. But don't listen to the stories you tell yourself.
Question of worth it is reliant on an outcome. We don't make these things for an outcome. It's not the mindset to make something great. The outcome happens, you're making the best thing you can make. It's a devotional practice. Whatever happens after that happens. And that part happens after it is completely out of your control.
You are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you are wasting your time, because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward. What matters is now, this moment, and your willingness to see this moment for what it is, accept it, forgive the past, take responsibility, and move forward.
Seneca famously said, "We do not learn in school, but in life." If you want to live a life of success, if you want to develop into a complete person, you must learn from life, the experiences, the people, the places that you go to, and understand that the culmination of your experiences is what gives you the knowledge to make better decisions for your future. But I decided to learn from my experiences. I decided to put myself in situations that were uncomfortable so that I could grow and become better. And the better you become, the better life gets.
If you want the future to change for you, you've got to change. If you don't change, the next 6 years of your life is going to be just like the last 6. You'll still be behind on your bills. You'll still be behind on your promises. If you will change, everything will change for you. If you will get better, everything will get better for you. If you'll change your philosophy, if you'll change your habits, if you'll refine your thinking, if you'll change and accept some new disciplines, if you'll turn the corner where you've been in the past, go for a new life for the future, all kinds of remarkable things will happen for you if you will change.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
If you had tough shit happen to you, it sucks, and it's not your fault. But now what? Where do we go? My 2 cents: win anyways, and prove that you can win even when the chips are stacked against you and you're dealt a lousy hand. Because we can't get dealt a new hand, we gotta play the cards we got rather than hoping the dealer rules in our favor. So again, what do you do with your shitty hand? The only thing possible, you play it the best you can.
Understand that your attempt to be better cannot be based off your previous understanding of your lesser self. You are not who you used to be, no matter how little the difference is. Remember this, just because you can't do something right now or haven't been able to do so in the past, does not mean you won't be able to do so tomorrow or sometime in the future.
Success is not measured on the days when the sun shines. Success is measured on the dark, stormy, cloudy days. And if you can't absorb failure, you're never going to meet success.
The emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times.
You are 100% disciplined to all your current habits. If your current habits are not leading you in the direction of your dreams, a powerful new decision must be made. Discipline gets exponentially easier when you first make a decision and then commit to that decision. what's the decision that needs to be made? How you're going to show up for yourself, for your life, and for your dreams, and who you're going to be today.
You can spend your whole life looking back at your past, but that time is gone. What's important is right here, right now. You're not defined by your traumas. You're more than that. But it's up to you to bring yourself back. Write your own story. You're the hero. It's time.
Life has a habit of tossing us difficulty, struggle, and hardship. And it's natural, it's needed. In those spaces is when we have the opportunity to grow the most. Rarely do we grow when we're in spaces of comfort and warmth and protection. In life, we see it all too often. You're starting to level up, you're starting to progress, you have these big lofty goals, you have these things that you're walking towards, you're pushing towards, and inevitably, you get smacked in the mouth. You fall down, you get told stop, get back in your box. It's not meant for you, it's meant for somebody else. And my message is this, it's meant for you. It's meant for all of us. But in that space, we have to remember that we got to get out of our own way. This is the year. This is our opportunity. I'm mindful that the harder we push towards greatness, the harder resistance is pushed towards us to keep us where we are.
You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of what other people will think of you if you fail. But if you're afraid of that, imagine what they think of you when you aren't even trying. Oh yeah, they aren't.
Major reason why people fail in life is because of the expediency factor. That we always do, and we always take the fastest and easiest route to get the things that we want. But the fastest and easiest route in life is almost always the route to failure. It's short-term gain for long-term pain. We do what is fun and easy today instead of what is hard and necessary, and then we have to do what is hard and necessary at the end of our life. It's too late. And you'll find that the willingness and the ability to discipline yourself, to be clear about what it is you want, to be clear where you're going, to be clear about the results that you're expected to accomplish, and then to only work on those results. The ability to discipline yourself to do that is absolutely critical to success.
Don't wait. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start today. Start now. Start being who you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to do now. Things just don't go your way. That's not the way the world works. You gotta make them go your way. Think things are gonna just go your way? Well, they're not gonna just go your way. You think things are gonna just happen for you? Well, they're not just gonna happen for you. You gotta make them happen. Guess what? That's the way life is. You don't have enough time. You gotta make time. It's not just gonna happen. You gotta make it happen. Go make things happen.
Who are you on those days you don't want to do things? It's easy to conquer when it's good weather. You got good sleep. Work's going good. The family's good. You feel great. Your body's not injured. Those are the easy days to conquer. But who are you on those f***ing days when all hell's broke loose? You're miserable. Who are you on those days? Those people who get up on those days when everything's up and still grind? That's the separator right there.
Your haters are out there holding their breath, waiting for you to fail. Make sure they suffocate.
Discipline does not have to be all grit and denial. Discipline is giving the current version of you the boundaries and the new rules so that the next level of you can take over and create the life of your dreams, because the current version of you can't get there. Draw the line in the sand. Raise the bar for yourself. Create systems and fail-safes that make it easy for you to stay disciplined and successful. Expect more of yourself, and then get to work.
You know how you judge and you measure a good man? A good man does the right thing even when it's not the easy thing. That's how you judge the character of a good man. A good man does the right thing even when it's not the easy thing. Because most people, when something is difficult, it alters their character. Right, most people, when a challenge is present, it alters their character, their thought process, their perspective, what they say they value, what they say they were a part of.
One day or day one. Keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind if you've been slacking on some kind of something that you want to start doing. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy next year. Next year's my year. Right? The people who say next year is my year. I mean, are you serious? By the time it becomes next year, you're still going to be saying next year is going to be my year.
Were you uncomfortable today? People that create spectacular lives approach life just a little bit differently than most people. They seek discomfort. They know that discomfort gets them to grow faster. If it isn't uncomfortable, it's the wrong path. Everything you want in life is on the other side of your comfort zone.
The pain of regret is far heavier than the price of discipline. So if it doesn't work out, you can live with it. You can turn the page. You can say what's next. And when you take business, family, life, dreams, goals, and aspirations, you got people going 60%, 70%, and it doesn't manifest. For some reason, people are scared of failure, right? And so I often say to them, man, give everything you got to it. If it doesn't turn out, what's the worst that can happen? You can turn the page. One bad chapter doesn't define the book.
You've got to go after something you seriously want. You gotta really want it. Don't have to know how to do it. You don't have to know where the money's coming from. You don't have to know how it's gonna happen, but you gotta really want it. As you take that want and turn it over and plant it in your heart, that becomes a desire. Desire is the effort of the unexpressed possibility within, seeking expression without through your action.
You have to be grateful for the past. Any level of tragedy from your past does one of two things. It either builds you or it breaks you. In my past, I have gone through poverty. In my past, I have gone through neglect. In my past, I have gone through abuse, betrayal, loneliness, rock bottom. But I am beyond grateful for it. Why? Because it made me who I am. You can't bring me down. I learned from my past. I'll step on your words like stairs on my way to the top. You can take all I have. I know what it is to appreciate life. So I have the key to getting it all back. You can knock me down in the depths of the sea. I have learned from my past that you only drown when you stay down. So I'm gonna get back up.
There needs to be someone who is sort of the keeper and reiterator of the vision. Because there's just a ton of work to do. And a lot of times, you know, when you have to walk 1,000 miles and you take the first step, it looks like a long ways. And it really helps if there's someone there saying, well, we're one step closer. You know, the goal definitely exists. It's not just a mirage out there. So in 1,001 little and sometimes larger ways, the vision needs to be reiterated.
You know, something doesn't go the way you wanted it to go. You didn't get the job you wanted. You didn't get the hire. You didn't get the promotion. You can go home and sit there and dwell on it. That's not getting you any progress. Or you say, okay, you know what? Let me do a quick analysis. Why didn't I get that promotion? Oh, it's because I didn't get this qualification, or I hadn't jumped through this gate. Okay, cool. What do I need? Let me look into how do I get to jump through that gate so next time I will get the promotion, and you start taking action.
Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
What do I mean by winners win and losers lose? I get asked this question all the time. Winners are people that everything that they do, all the habits that they instill are the habits of a winner. A winner isn't a final product. A winner is a lifestyle. A winner is a concurrent set of actions that lead you to a final destination. Same way is for losers. Usually losers inhibit behaviors of losing people, who they hang out with, what they eat, what they listen to, how they think about themselves. The question is, will you become successful? Will you instill the habits of a winning person? Focus on leveling up. Focus on winning. Every single action, everything that you do, focus on winning. Focus on becoming a champion. And you know what the outcome will be? You will become exactly what you put in.
And the beautiful thing is, you can change your story at any moment in time. Create a new narrative, write a longer chapter, or cut this one short. At any second, you have the ability to invent a new you. Go for an unconventional ending. All you have to do is believe and watch the magic happen.
An insane belief in my own ability to manifest things. Insane belief, that I think it's ultimately complete sanity. But I believe we're creators, and I believe we create with every thought and every word. Every moment is pregnant with the next moment of your life. We all start out with a false belief about ourselves, with some untrue thing that we believe walking through our lives. I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm gonna fail. Whatever your basic mistaken belief about yourself is, you form a personality around.
I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction, and it will become reality.
Can't wait for everything to be okay to live your life.
There's still time to make a change. There's still time to commit to yourself. There's still time to do something you've never done. You don't need a new year to start creating a new you. Stop waiting for the perfect time to get started. Get up and make the rest of these days count.
If you want to give up.
Life isn't about what you have or being a have-none. It's about remembering the dreams that were in you as a little girl, as a little boy. Remember that you were born with a purpose. Regardless of what happens to you, regardless of what other people have said about you, you are gifted, you are qualified, you are wonderful, you are amazing. Every morning I want you to look in the mirror and have a conversation with your future self. You've already arrived. You've already won. You've already went back and changed your whole community. You changed the whole culture. What you are is a product in the making.
Nothing in life is easy. Nothing is going to be given to us. Nothing is going to stand on its own accord without proper preparation. Resilience in your life is the proper preparation. Now, whether you want to think about it or not, if you were to reflect on those times in your lives where things are seemingly falling down around you, everything was hard, everything was a struggle. When you got out of that and you look back from where you came from, you knew that it was in those spaces that shaped you, that allowed you to become the person that you are now. And everything cycles in life. Everything is going to be an up and a down, a light and a dark, hot and cold. That opposition in all things is necessary. But it's those of us who have resilience, it's those of us who will get up every time. Even when you fall down, flat on your face, it hurts, you're cut, you're bleeding, and we still get up.
It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. I know plenty of people that are capable. I know fewer people that are willing. Will is a powerful thing. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do?
Life is not a series of uninterrupted successes and joyful moments. Instead, life is marked by challenges, setbacks, and moments of incredibly hard defeats. I mean defeats as in failures. During these times of darkness and despair, our true character can be forged and our inner true strength can be revealed. Will you surrender to despair, or will you rise, phoenix-like, from the ashes of your circumstances?
How can you become the person that you wish to be unless you live the life that you wish not to live? How can you be brave unless you felt fear? How can you be strong unless you were once weak?
Hey, guess what? It's going to be the hardest thing you ever did. Along the way, you're going to lose all your fucking friends. You're going to struggle. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be multiple fucking days where you don't think that you're going to make it. And those days sometimes last for months. Nobody's going to relate to you. No one's going to understand why you're doing it. And I'm going to tell you this. They might laugh at you now. Everybody laughed at me back in the day. Guess who's laughing now? Me.
Remember that. Relish in it. Get it all over you. Reflect in these moments. Because the trials are what make you great. The trials are what forge you into tempered steel that is unbreakable and unbendable. It's these moments. Embrace them.
We're all participating in this thing called life. All of us. Life has ebb and flows. Mountaintops, it's got valleys, it's got thunderstorms in it, earthquakes. This life. Stop expecting it to go smooth, because it ain't finna go smooth. The road to success is always under construction. This life ain't set up to be smooth.
I get it. You don't feel like it. You don't know if it's worth it. And you know that if you do it today, you still have to do it tomorrow. And you still have to do it every day after that. It's overwhelming, I know. But every day that you do it, you get a little bit closer to the place that you actually want to be. You get closer to the person you actually want to be.
The fact that it is painful is the reason that it's working. Everybody else that has to try and step out into this new life faces this same thing too. Every single person does. That's why most people don't do it. This is what hard feels like, and this is why most people don't win. So continuing to push through and almost seeing that level of discomfort as a signal, it's like a way marker that's been planted in the ground. Because if it was all just super easy, well, how are you going to get anything different to what everybody else has got if you do the same thing that everybody else does?
Do you know what it takes to be a champion? Working hard every single day without the promise that your hard work will actually pay off, with the only guarantee being sweat and exhaustion. Here's something more: that goal you're chasing after doesn't favor you over anyone else. That's why you need to pay attention to the process rather than the product. Who is this champion that's being built?
That it's possible. If you tell yourself enough times that it's possible, it can be possible. But imagine every single day, instead of saying, oh, my day sucks, instead of getting up and being like, oh, life is terrible. Imagine your entire mindset was just like, it's possible to get to that next level. It's possible to be great. It's possible to be more healthy. And your entire perspective on life, your worldview is positive. Even if you had to lie yourself into believing that.
You can be fearful, you can't be afraid. The coward and the hero feel the same exact emotion when confronted with a situation. It's just, how do you act in response to the fear? The coward is like, ah, fuck this, run. The hero is like, okay, I see you, I know you're there, here's how I'm gonna handle this.
You know, the fact that life is short and can be brutal, can terrify you into hiding and avoiding, but it can also, you can flip that on its head and understand that since you're all in anyways, you might as well take the risks that are adventurous.
When you were born, you are a phenomenon, you are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experience with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique. It's yours. You're one of a kind, right? So that is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you, and how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that.
So many people die with untapped potential because they think that someone else is better than them. And they were born, not with the greatest tools. You don't need shit. You need the ability to grind your ass into a fine fucking powder. And when you're in that fine powder, find a way to build that motherfucker back up repeatedly. And it's possible.
If you hide and you don't let what's inside of you out, and you don't bring into the world what you could bring, and you become cynical and bitter, you will start doing very dark things. Not only will you not add to the world what you could add, but you'll start being jealous of people who are competent and doing well and work to destroy them. That's the pathway to hell.
Success is the ability to go from failure to failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm. But that's going to be up to you, because there's not going to be anybody there to encourage you, to coach you, to push you on. You have to do it yourself.
People don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. Like the passion that they first had when they said, man, I'm with you. I'm gonna give you everything I got, whether that be sports, whether that be business, whether that be a family. I just want people to never allow life to make them forget why they do what they do. Right? To never allow life to rob you of your passion. To never allow life to rob you of your joy, your peace, your happiness.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase.
Who is this champion with nothing more than a burning desire in their heart to prove to no one other than themselves, I have what it takes? And if you're sitting there wondering, am I that champion? Let me put it this way. You decided to listen to motivational audios rather than music. You decided to listen to motivational audios rather than mindless background noise. Whether you're in the gym, on the bus, just waking up, or lying on your bed, getting your thoughts together, you made the choice to pick something that would keep you in the fight. These are the receipts you need to remember, because they will remind you of who you truly are, a champion.